What is going on, guys? Papa C back with a video for you guys, and today we're going to be doing the Pokemon games tier list maker. I've seen this all over Twitter, the whole tier list thing, kind of for like everything, not just Pokemon games for starters, and even things that aren't Pokemon related. So if you want to support the channel, of course, make sure you leave a like. It does go a long way, help the channel a ton. If you want to, what am I saying? If you want to subscribe, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. If you don't know what this is, basically we just rank every single Pokemon game. S tier being the best, D tier being the worst, and everything in between being better or worse depending on how high or low it is. So we're gonna go in order of the games. Now the way I'm gonna do it as well is I'm gonna try to order them in a way where the stuff towards the front of the list or the left side of the list will be like the better end of the S tier, and then the stuff from the right side of the list will be like the lower end of S tier, if you know what I mean. We'll also go in order of release date of the game, starting with red and blue. And for some reason, red and blue are separate. I'm gonna consider them the same, so I would put them in B tier. They're probably going to end up being on the lower end of B tier. I feel like this is the most polarizing out of any single Pokemon game, because you have people like myself who admittedly love this game only because of nostalgia. Also, should probably mention this, it should be obvious, but it's the internet. This is my opinion. This list is based on my personal preferences, the games that I've played. I'll give, reasons as to why I rate everything each thing. This is not like a definitive Pokemon. It's like, this is not the correct list. I'm sure some people would put red and blue in S tier because they love it, and some people put it in D tier because they hate it. So anyway, like I said, these are the most polarizing games. I feel like you either love them or you just hate them. I like them. I think they're good. Do they hold up well today? Not exactly, but in their heyday, they were like the greatest games ever made. If you never had the experience of playing Red and Blue when they were the newest games, and that goes for just about any game, I guess you could say, but Red and Blue specifically, because they were the first, it was such a great time. I was really young at the time. I'll put them in B tier, right in the middle of the pack. I would prefer to play some of the newer games over it for sure, but I still think they're pretty good. Next up, Gold and Silver. This one I feel like is pretty popular here, so I'm gonna put Gold and Silver. Where the heck is Silver? In A tier, and I'll put Crystal as well. I guess we'll lump Yellow in with B tier as well, but I'll put Yellow in front. Actually, you know what? No, I prefer Red and Blue over Yellow. I'm gonna say that. Is that like a hot take? I don't know. Like, Pikachu is cool and all, but I just like the original. Having the starters, not being given, Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur or whatever. I like the originals better. Sue me. Now for these ones, I mean, they're all like pretty much the same. I guess you could say Crystal's better, but like Crystal doesn't really add that much. You have the whole Unseen stuff and Suicune. I feel like Gold and Silver and Heart Gold and Silver by association are just some of the most popular Pokemon games. But, spoiler, my favorite Pokemon game of all time currently is Heart Gold and Soul Silver, so you guys know where that'll lie. I just really like what the Johto region offers. Sure, going to Kanto is cool, and that's great. It's definitely one of the things that people bring up first when they talk about why, the Johto games are so great. But just like the main Johto game, like up until the Elite Four, I love the region. People don't like the region. I don't really know why. I think it's separated nicely. I love where Goldenrod is situated on the map. I think everything is really easy to get to. I personally like it when Pokemon games have stuff like that. Like, for example, in Goldenrod. Actually, no, it's not in Goldenrod. Where is it? I think it's north of Violet, wherever the Sudowoodo is, next to the National Park. Once you break that down, go to Mahogany Town, you have all access to so much of the game. My favorite gym leader is also Morty, and he's in Gold and Silver, so there you go. Gold and Silver A tier. Next up, Ruby and Sapphire. So Ruby and Sapphire, and the third generation as a whole, I'm going to talk about this more in a video going up on this weekend. But, the thing about the third generation is it is one of the generations that I have the most memories of. So, if you look at the first three generations, because that's sort of what we're up to, I have a lot of memories of Gen 1 because it was the first. I don't have that many members of Gen 2, believe it or not. I remember playing Silver a lot, and I remember when I got Crystal version because my grandfather gave it to me for my birthday whenever it came out, I guess. I think Crystal was weird. It came out in like July or something. I have a European copy because I was in Europe at the time. I don't know. And Ruby and Sapphire, I just have so many memories about this. This was when I really would go on the internet a lot, go on a lot of forums. This was like 2004, 2005-ish. And I really do like these games. I am going to put them... See, it's tough. I don't know if I want to put them above or below Gen 1. It's really, really tough for me. These games are so close. Like, they're so close, Gen 3 and Gen 1. Typically, I would put Gen 3, like, whenever people ask me my least favorite gens, I put Gen 3 at one of my bottom 3, and I'd put Gen 1 a bit higher, but it's really tough. Emerald has a Battle Frontier, of course. The Battle Frontier is really fun. Like, it's a lot. Like, I remember spending so much time on that. They introduced double battles, and even playing them today. Like, I recently just played through Sapphire, I want to say maybe 2 months ago or so, because right now what I'm doing currently is I'm actually playing through every single region in order. So I started with Kanto with Let's Go, and right now I'm actually on Ultra Sun with Alola. So I went through every single one, went through Johto, went through all of them, and when I played the Hoenn game, I actually picked Sapphire version, so I guess I'll put Sapphire in front because it's fresh in my head. Actually, no, I'll put Emerald in front, because Emerald is just better than Ruby and Sapphire in every single way. And you know, I chose to play Sapphire over Horax because I want to get that original experience, and this is probably a lot of nostalgia speaking, which I'm sure, you know, is the case for, like, all of these games and all of these tier lists, but something about Ruby and Sapphire and Gen 3 in general is just really special to me, which you would think maybe you want to put in a higher tier, but I'll put it in B tier. I definitely like Gold and Silver better. Moving on, I guess now we have Fire Red and Leaf Green. So Fire Red and Leaf Green, I would say, objectively, are just better than Red and Blue. Like, the only time I would ever go back and play Red and Blue, or Yellow for that matter, over Fire Red and Leaf Green is if I just want that pure nostalgia. So I'm going to actually put Fire Red and Leaf Green right after Ruby and right in front of Red and Blue. So I know they're on the same tier, but like I was saying earlier, like, you know, the stuff on the left side, the closest to the actual letter, is like higher tier for our high B tier, and this is like low B tier, like B plus, B minus, I guess we could say. You know, they're just reading some Gen 1 games, they add a lot of stuff. I think Sevi Islands are kind of underappreciated. I think it's actually really neat how we have like this extra like smaller region. It feels sort of like how in Gold and Silver you go back to Johto, except this time it's a smaller region, and it's a new region for the most part. I'm not really sure if Sevi Islands is considered its own region or part of Kanto or what. I think it's really neat. I like Fire Red and Leaf Green, updated Red and Blue. It's definitely a lot more comfortable to play in 2019 compared to Red and Blue, so we'll give it that. Next up though, Diamond and Pearl. This is tough for me, so this is what I think I'm going to do. We're going to take, I see Pearl, where's Diamond? Is this like an alphabetical order or is it just random? I don't even, oh, there's Diamond. It is an alphabetical order actually. So we're going to put Diamond and Pearl. Where would I'm here? I would say Diamond and Pearl above Gold and Silver and Crystal. Diamond and Pearl for the longest time. My favorite Pokemon games. 4th gen in general, love it. Then I played through Heart Gold again on these, you know, generation streams I've been doing, and I realized how freaking awesome Heart Gold is, and it kind of dethroned Diamond and Pearl. But what I am going to do, though, is I am going to put Platinum in S tier, because out of all of the third or other versions, so to say, your Black and White 2s, your Yellow versions, like the other games in this, you know what I'm talking about? I think Platinum's just the best. I really do. I think Platinum, compared to the games it's based off, adds the most. There's different Pokemon, the gyms are different, it's a little bit more difficult. Diamond and Pearl, and I guess Platinum as well, not as much though, it's kind of fell victim to performance issues a lot. Like, they don't really run that great, which is a bit unfortunate. Platinum, I don't know if Platinum fixes it, to be honest. I'm going to assume it does. I don't really know off the top of my head. I haven't played Platinum in a while, but I love what it adds. Giratina is one of my favorite legendaries as well. Whenever somebody asks me, and this happens a lot because when you share my YouTube, you get a lot of questions like this. People ask me, see, if you could have one Pokemon in real life, what would it be? The answer is always Giratina. It'll never change, because if you have a ghost demonic dragon, that's just the coolest thing ever. Like, what's cooler than having a Giratina? It's not my favorite Pokemon overall. My favorite Pokemon overall is Vileplume, as I'm sure you guys know. But freaking Giratina, dude? Sick. Next up, what came out after Platinum? Heart Gold, Soul Silver. This, like, come on, dude. Like, come on. This is S tier. Do I have to explain this? I think I... Oh, also, Diamond and Pearl. Another reason why they're so high. I guess they introduced Wi-Fi and stuff, which is kind of neat. That's definitely a little plus, in my opinion. Heart Gold and Soul Silver are just, like, the best 4th gen games. They don't have the slowdown issues. People love the following Pokemon, which, you know, I just realized my mic is, kind of... My voice might have been... My mic was under my desk there. Wow. I forgot to move it, because whenever I'm not using my mic, I put it under my desk because it takes up too much space. So hopefully the sound's not messed up. I should be able to fix it in post. If not, I'll just redo the video. But yeah, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, great games, favorite of all time. They're just the most enjoyable to play, in my opinion. Like, that's simply what it comes down to. After that, we have Black and White. So Black and White, I really like. I like Black and White a lot. I think I'm gonna put Black and White here in A tier. I don't know if this is a popular opinion, but I really like how when Black and White, when you first play through Black and White, right, you only see the brand new Unova Pokemon, the 150 or so, I don't know how many Pokemon they added in 5th generation. Those are the only Pokemon you see. I think it's a lot of fun. They added a lot of really cool Pokemon that I feel like go underappreciated. You know, you have things like Musharna and a lot of other cool Pokemon. Conkeldurr, I think, is cool. The cover legendaries, I think, are really awesome. But people like to say, oh, 5th gen is the best story. I don't care about that story. And I think is a really cool character. I'll give them that. You know, N is more prominent in Black and White 1 than Black and White 2 for sure. I really, really like these games. You know, I thought I'd have a more, like, critical opinion on these games, but I really don't. Like, Black and White in A tier. And I want to put Black and White 2 in A tier as well, because, yeah, they are the quote-unquote other versions of 5th gen, so to say. I know they're sequels, I know they're different, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they aren't. I don't know where I want to put them, though. I don't know if I put them above Black and White or right next to it. I do want to put them at the lower end of A tier for sure, in my opinion. I do think they had a lot. Black and White 2, White 2 I played through recently, and it was a lot of fun. I think the main reason why these games are so praised is because they're like the only proper sequels we've had. Like, if you look at things like Platinum, you look at things like Crystal, sure, they're nice to have those little add-ons, but Black and White 2 just changed, like, it was a completely different game. You have a different protagonist for the most part, which is just insane. I do think Platinum, in terms of the traditional, like, third game, maybe if you lump Ultra Sun in there, because Ultra Sun is, and Moon, I know they're two games, they're basically the same game. But you know what I'm saying. They're Ultra Sun and Moon are more like Platinum than they are Black and White 2. I think Platinum's the best out of all those, but Black and White 2, having the extra towns, having all the extra stuff, the comeback of Team Plasma, I think is really neat. I like them a lot. So, Black and White 2, out of the way. What do we have now? We have X and Y. So X and Y I actually played through recently. I just beat it like less than a month ago, I want to say. And it was actually my second time only ever playing through the game. I played through X when it first came out. I bought the game on the release. Loved it. Then I played through Y recently, 6 years later or so. And I really, really liked it. But I don't really know where I want to put it. I really don't know where I want to put it. Like, I know it's not an S. It's definitely not S or A tier. I don't know if I want to put it in B tier. Do I like it better than Ruby and Sapphire? Do I like it better than Fire Red? I think I might put it above Fire. I know I'm putting everything in like B tier, it feels like. But, X and Y are really special games. I feel like X and Y really, like, Pokemon on YouTube has existed since YouTube existed, but I feel like the X and Y era is really when it started to get a push. That's when you start to see a lot of people starting to upload Pokemon videos. They got their 3DS capture cards, they got their Wi-Fi battles, all this stuff. I feel like X and Y did a lot for Pokemon on YouTube stuff, which, for me being a Pokemon YouTuber, obviously that means a lot. So I'm going to want to put these right here, I think. It's tough. I don't know if I want to put them above Ruby and Sapphire or not, because before this, right, months ago, if you asked me my favorite generations, it would have been in this order. It would have been 4, 2, what would I put after it? 4, 2, 5, 1, 6, 3, 7. Those would have been like my tier list. As you can see, that's a bit different because I played through the games again and I'm doing an actual tier list. But X and Y, I think they're a really nice game. Sure, there was some issues like the EXP share. People don't really like the way the EXP share worked, made the game a bit too easy. I don't think the game is as easy as people make it out to be. Like, the thing with Pokemon games is they can be as easy or as hard as you make them. Like, if you go in completely blind into Pokemon X version, you know nothing about it, and you do a Nuzlocke, you might have a difficult time. But if you go into X and Y, and you know every wild Pokemon on every route, every major trainer, and every Pokemon they have, sure, you can play around that, and you can, have a much easier time. That goes for any game. Like, if you play a game where you know what's coming, it's gonna be easy. But if you don't know what's coming next, it's gonna be more difficult. So, when it comes to judging a Pokemon based on the difficulty, I think that you have to take into account. Like, is this, hard for a first-time playthrough? Is it only easy because I played this game 10 times? I like X and Y. Story's kind of cool. I love Team Flare. You guys know, I made a video a few weeks ago. They're my favorite evil team. So, there we go. So, after X and Y, we had Oras. So Oras essentially is just better Ruby and Sapphire. Like, I really liked Oras. I think they're a lot of fun. They are easier than Ruby and Sapphire, and they did change a little bit too. Mauville City is completely different in these games. You get Latios and Latias earlier on in these games. In the original games, I believe Latios and Latias was a roaming legendary, if I'm not mistaken. And in these games, you just get it, like, I think it's right before the 6th gym, right before you head on to Fortree City. With that being said, though, I do think that they are better than Ruby and Sapphire. Now, the question is, do I want to sort of separate them and put it below Emerald, or do I want to put it above? Because one thing that I really can't forgive Oras for is just not having a Battle Frontier. Like, I would have much rather them have not made any reference to the Battle Frontier whatsoever than have that sign saying it's under construction. I feel like that was like kind of like a slap in the face. So, this could be interchangeable. I think I'm going to put it right before Emerald, mainly because of the Battle Frontier, to be honest. Like, maybe I'm bitter. Maybe I'm bitter, dude. But I like that Battle Frontier. So, Oras then we got Sun and Moon. So, this one's tricky. This one's really tricky. So, we got Sun and Moon. I've only played through Ultra Sun 1.5 times. Not even 1.5 times. I've never beaten Ultra Sun, right? So, we're gonna do both these at the same time because they're very similar. So, Ultra Sun came out. I got a damn release. I played it a bit. I just was not feeling it, you know. I played through Sun and Moon in the past, I think 2 times before that, and I did like Sun and Moon. I think they were fun. But, you know, playing through Ultra Sun again, like, after playing through Sun and Moon twice and having been so similar, it was just, I didn't really enjoy it. Right now, I'm playing through it again. I have not gotten to the Ultra Necrosa part. So this part is, you know, take it with a grain of salt. You know, this is the little asterisk mark. So if somebody were to ask me, which game would you recommend? I've never played a Gen 7 game. 9 times out of 10, maybe 10 times out of 10, I would say is Ultra Sun and Moon, because they're literally just the upgraded version of Sun and Moon, to say. But for my tier list, for my own personal enjoyment, I like Sun and Moon more. You know, I like Sun and Moon more than Ultra Sun and Moon. When I was playing through the games, you know, I streamed a lot of battles. So going back to Oras, I guess, too. Oras was really when I got my capture card and I started streaming battles and stuff like that. And that continued on to Sun and Moon. And I liked playing Sun and Moon battles. You know, it was nice because you had a change of pace. You know, sure, Z crystals are kind of whack. But, you know, having the new thing, having new Pokemon was really, really fun. Then we got Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which sure, we got a few new Pokemon in the new Ultra. We got like Blacephalon and stuff like that. But, you know, the way that it, maybe this was just, you know, people overhyped it. Maybe my expectations were too high. But you look at Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, right? And you would think they would be more like Black 2 and White 2, but they're not. They're more like a Crystal style game. They're more like a Platinum style game, which isn't terrible. I just feel like my biggest issue with these games was my expectations were too high on release, and it just wasn't that. It wasn't the game that I thought it was going to be. So I do enjoy playing through this. Every single Pokemon game I like, by the way. There's no one Pokemon game that I dislike, but there are some I like more than others. With that being said, though, I'm gonna put them in D tier. They were a little bit of a disappointment, mainly because I feel like myself and, you know, a lot of the Pokemon community just sort of overhype these games like crazy, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, it's basically Sun and Moon. Other than that, like I said, if you had to pick between one of these two games, Sun and Moon or Ultra and Ultra Moon, I would definitely say get the Ultra games, whichever one you prefer. If you prefer Lunala, if you prefer Solgaleo, get that version. But yeah, next up we have Let's Go. Let's Go, you know, Let's Go might actually be the most polarizing compared to Red and Blue. I do plan on making a video, you know, more so about Let's Go, like did it flop, what was the deal with it. Not gonna lie, I was kind of half expecting, I thought maybe it was a possibility that during that conference the other day that they did, that they would say like, hey, we're working on Let's Go 2. You know, maybe it's Let's Go Meryl, Let's Go Espeon, whatever people are thinking, Let's Go Johto, Let's Go Kanto, I don't know. I thought that's a possibility because Let's Go did sell really well. I personally really enjoyed these games. Again, like I was saying back with Red and Blue, it's one of those things where, like, yes, nostalgia is a big factor. I mean, that's why most Pokemon fans have been Pokemon fans for, you know, 15 plus years, like myself, is a lot of nostalgia is involved. That goes with, like, pretty much anything you've been involved with since your childhood. I really liked Let's Go, though. I really did like Let's Go. I think they were a lot of fun. I think that there's a lot of flaws, but I do think the pros outweigh the cons. I've only played this game once, by the way, and it was on release. I played it slowly. I played it on stream, so maybe you guys watched me play it. I had fun. There was a lot of things that I didn't like, though. I didn't really particularly like that you couldn't box your starter. Like, I didn't ever want to do it, but, you know, there could have been a situation where you want to box your starter. You know, you're kind of forced to use it, which, you know, I guess is the same for yellow version to an extent. There's also just a lot of weird things. Like, why are there no abilities? Or not abilities, excuse me. Why are there no what was it that we... No abilities. What was it that there wasn't... Yeah, no abilities. Yeah, there's no abilities. Why? Why is there no bicycle? I don't get it. I think the Ride Pager, whatever they called it... Was it Ride Pager? Or was it Ride Pager in Ultra Sun? I don't know. I think it was cool. Being able to surf on your Pikachu and stuff like that. The techniques or whatever. I think it's weird that there's no Wonder Trade. No GTS. I just feel like... You know, I understand what they were going for with this game... But I feel like there's some things that they just should have put in the game, you know? I think GTS and Water Trade should have been a no-brainer. I understand not having every single Pokemon. I guess the main issue with this game is nobody really knows, like who is this game for? Like, who is this made for? Is this made for the hardcore fans? Is this made for people who played a long time ago and haven't played in a while? Is this made for the Pokemon Go fans? A lot of people say it's just a watered-down version of Pokemon Go. I don't agree with that in the slightest. You know, you look at Pokemon Go, and all you do in that game for the most part is you just catch Pokemon and you battle. Sure, it's fun. It's a free game. It's on your phone. It's really cool. And, you know, I wouldn't say Let's Go is a watered-down version of that. Like, sure, you have the same way you catch Pokemon, but you don't battle the same way. The way the gyms work isn't the same as it was in Pokemon Go. You don't have raids and stuff like that. You don't have all those crazy things you have. From what I hear, now I don't personally shine it, but from what I hear, shining Let's Go is actually pretty fun, so I guess that's a plus for some people. With that being said, though, I've been rambling for way too long about Let's Go. I'm gonna put it in C tier. You know, right above Ultra Sun and Moon. You know, arguably B tier. You could argue to put it here. I had a lot of fun playing these games. I think after I played them, I said they would be my favorite. But, you know, looking back on it, like, sure, they were fun. And they were really easy, though. And this is when I was going back to what I was saying about X and Y about a game being easy, right? So, let's go. Sure, I did know, for the most part, what to expect because I had played Fire Red and Leaf Green and Red and Blue in the past. But being that it was a quote-unquote blind playthrough, I don't think a single one of my Pokemon fainted until I got to Sabrina, which is the 6th gym. So with that being said, like, I definitely do think that they are probably the easiest games. You know, your starter tend to be pretty overpowered. I played Pikachu, by the way. I didn't play Eevee. I don't know which one's better, but, you know, Pikachu was, like, really, really strong. So that's why I'm putting it there. Relatively easy game, but it was enjoyable. You know, for me, like I said, growing up with Red and Blue, playing Red and Blue as their first games, it was a lot of fun. But, yeah, that's my tier list. A lot of stuff in B tier. I think this is really accurate, though. I really do. You know, one thing that I really do like about my tier list is, like I said earlier, I recently just started, not recently, it was like 6 months ago. I went through every single generation and played through at least one game from each generation, and that really helped me, like, refresh my Pokemon knowledge, refresh what I liked, what I disliked, because before that I was rather indecisive as to which was my favorite. Now, putting them in an actual tier list, I think this is it. Like, you know, maybe some slight modifications, like maybe I would put Oras in front of Emerald. Maybe I would put Let's Go next to Yellow and B tier. I don't know, but other than like some minor changes like that, this is pretty accurate. With that being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you all next time. Make sure you leave a like if you haven't already, subscribe if you are new, and bye-bye.